Emily and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's party, and from the moment we started talking, it felt like we had known each other forever. She had this infectious laugh, a sharp wit, and an energy that pulled everyone into her orbit. I thought I had hit the jackpot when she agreed to go out with me. Our relationship had its ups and downs, like any other, but we were solid, or so I thought. We lived together in a cozy little apartment downtown, spent weekends exploring the city, and talked endlessly about the future, marriage, kids, a house in the suburbs. It was all falling into place. Then there was Kyle, my older brother. Growing up, Kyle was always the golden boy of the family. He was the star athlete in high school, the guy who never seemed to put effort into anything but still came out on top. I wouldn't call us rivals, but there was always an unspoken tension between us. Kyle had recently moved back to town after a messy breakup. I felt bad for him and invited him over for dinner one night. Emily, always the gracious hostess, made her famous lasagna, and we spent the evening laughing and reminiscing. At first, I was happy to see Emily and Kyle getting along so well. It was rare for my family to connect with my partners, and this felt normal. But over the next few weeks, I started noticing things. Emily would mention Kyle more often in passing. "Kyle's so funny," she'd say after he texted her a meme. Or, "Kyle told me this crazy story about his college days." It didn't seem strange at first, after all, he was my brother. But soon, it felt like Kyle was becoming a fixture in our relationship. The breaking point came on a weekend when Emily asked if Kyle could join us for a hike. It wasn't unusual for us to invite friends along, but this felt different. She seemed overly enthusiastic about him coming, texting him the trail details and making sure he was free. During the hike, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was the third wheel. That night, as we lay in bed, I confronted Emily. "Do you think you're spending too much time with Kyle?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. She looked at me like I'd just accused her of a crime. "What are you talking about?" she said, her tone defensive. "He's your brother. You're overreacting." Maybe I was. Or maybe my gut was telling me something I didn't want to admit. Things came to a head a month later. Emily told me she needed space to figure out her feelings. She said it wasn't about me, she just needed time to sort out her emotions. I was blindsided. We'd been planning our future together, and now she wanted a break. I gave her the space she asked for, though it hurt like hell. She packed a bag and said she'd stay with a friend for a while. A week later, I got a call from a mutual friend who had seen Emily and Kyle together at a bar, holding hands. My world crumbled. I called Kyle immediately, demanding an explanation. He tried to play it off, saying they were just hanging out and that I was being paranoid. But when I pressed him, he finally admitted it. "I didn't plan for this to happen," he said. "It just did. We didn't mean to hurt you. Didn't mean to hurt me." They had lied to my face, betrayed me, and expected me to understand. Emily came back to our apartment the next day, wanting to talk. She admitted everything. She and Kyle had been seeing each other for weeks, and she claimed they were in love. I felt a mixture of anger, sadness, and betrayal. How could the two people I trusted most do this to me? I told Emily to leave and cut ties with both of them. Kyle tried reaching out, but I wasn't ready to forgive him. Months passed. I focused on rebuilding my life, spending time with friends and throwing myself into work. Then, out of nowhere, Emily showed up at my door. "I made a mistake," she said, tears streaming down her face. I was confused. "I thought Kyle was what I wanted, but I realize now that it's you. It's always been you." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. Part of me wanted to believe her, to forgive her and pick up where we left off. But I couldn't forget the pain she and Kyle had caused. "I'm sorry, Emily," I said. "You made your choice, and now you have to live with it." She begged me to reconsider, but I stood my ground. I deserved better than someone who could betray me so easily. As for Kyle, our relationship remains strained. We've spoken a few times, but things will never be the same. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Now, looking back, I see that losing Emily and Kyle wasn't the end of my world, it was the start of something new. I've grown stronger, learned to value myself, and found peace in letting go.